Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Sata.
Good
Okay,
afternoon.
good afternoon. I'm very sorry to be late this afternoon. So for this afternoon, we want to say we was straight with the word assignment. So far, if you follow well on your on Moodle, you will notice that major topic 1, major topic 2, major topic 3 has been populated. Okay, but this is, what week is this? Anyone? Week
3.
Week 3 or week 4? Week 3. Assignment 1 is still week 5. So I've put up PowerPoints and readings and all that just so that you can manage your own time to know about what we are supposed to know on this topic, on this course. So I'll just take us back to theoretical foundations of inclusive education, which is major topic 1. So we have tried to define inclusive education, and we also have listened to some of our friends who gave examples of what they do in their schools, or what type of learners they have in their classes, what they do with the students, how they accommodate learning across a diverse learning environment. And we also learned that foundations of inclusive education come about only after the rights movement, on where everybody has the right to a fair education, or has a right to learn. Conventions and legislations was major topic 2. Okay, I'll just briefly go through what we have under these major topics, so we know why we have these major topics and why we should know about them. So after knowing, or after introducing the concept of inclusive education, we have questions like, okay, you already have so much on our plates. We have a big enrollment in our classrooms. We have a lot of expectations from our schools. And this idea of inclusive education comes in, where students with all or diverse learning background needs to be in class. First of all, I'd like to clear out the air. That inclusive education is not just concerning children who have physical disabilities, 1. 2, vision impairment, or we say sensory impairment. So sensory impairment includes hearing, speech, vision. Okay, but it also addresses ethnicity. Okay, so children who come from different, or who have a different ethnic background, and they come with maybe their church principles. And I can still record one of my students who, in their religion, don't have, they do not celebrate festivities like Easter and Christmas and all this. So whenever we had Easter or Mother's Day or Father's Day, and students were to create cards, her parents would tell me, Mrs. Ata, she won't do all this because that's not what our church teach. So being inclusive, we accept it. We can't force them to do something that's against their religious beliefs. So inclusion looks at religious background, ethnic background, learning difficulties, behavioral issues. Inclusion includes all of this. And at times teachers think, oh, I don't have a child with disability, so I don't have to practice inclusive practices. But again, we have to remind ourselves that inclusion covers all aspects, all diverse learners. So one who comes from a Muslim background or who comes from a very cultural background, all this we need to get accepted and see how we can teach. So when we talk about conventions and legislations, like we know, they're mostly to do with laws, and laws or declarations that allow us to be able to do something. So we know that we are not just doing inclusive education out of nowhere. We know there are conventions and legislations that tie us to, firstly, international conventions like right to education, Convention on the Rights of People with Disability, Convention on the Rights of what we said, CEDAW or something for women. So we are doing this to satisfy or to qualify what the government of Vanuatu did in 2008. So the government ratified the Convention on the Rights of People with Disability. So from that convention, we have regional conventions, and not conventions, but regional legislations. And then we have our national policy, national legislations that give us the right to be able to teach students who have or who come from a diverse background. The universal design is something, or I don't know how we would say that, but universal design allows for everybody to have something in common. Okay, so when we say UDL is the shortest way of using, it's an acronym for universal design. So UDL, it means that all activities that we do has to satisfy what all students need to learn. Okay, so we don't discriminate. So universal design, when we look at our Moodle platform, universal design simply means that one fits all. Okay, one fits all. So if you are planning a soccer lesson up for your sports, how will you fit all students? We still see in our schools, girls play volleyball, boys play soccer. And with inclusion, we have gender. That's part of inclusion. So how do we encourage that? We have students who are boys but maybe acting like girls. So how do we as teachers help students to accept each other? Okay, so those are areas that the conventions try to help us to see the importance and to see the significance of accepting the concept of inclusive education. Okay, so on Moodle, like I said, I won't go through all this. You have videos. Readings, there's quite a lot of readings, and like I said, I always try to tell you or encourage you on it or motivate you that readings do not require for you to read all for your assessments or assignments. These are also your resources. Okay, so you can have it as your inclusive education resources, because everything we do now is linked or is tied to laws. So we don't do things against what we are supposed to do. So in the national legislations for readings, major topic 2, we have the MOET inclusive education policy, which has already been expired 2011, but has been reviewed and is in the process of publishing. We have the National Disability Inclusive Development Policy. Okay, so not just the Ministry of Education, but trustees also have inclusive desk officer. So they try to look at people who have disabilities out of school. We have the National Gender Equality Policy, okay? And that we don't have control over it. So all these are coming in, and we see a lot happening inside our classrooms. And it's us teachers who model how we value everybody as being the same. We have the National Sustainable Development Plan, which also address inclusion. We have the Vanuatu National Child Protection and Safeguarding Policy, which all teachers should know some bit of it and find places where directly focus on our job as classroom teachers. And then we have the Corporate Disability Inclusive Education Brief. It's a document compiled to help us. Then we have the international conventions and legislations. We have the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. We have the UN Convention on Human Rights. And we have the Salamanca Statement and the Dhaka Framework. All these are documents that support the concept of inclusion. And when we talk about inclusive education, it's not just happening inside the classroom, but how do we as teachers take that out from the classroom into our communities? Okay, so we don't just teach children who have this inside the classroom, but when we are in our communities, we give comments to group of maybe boys who want to act like girls, or maybe the ones that the society refers to them now as chores. How do we refer to this type of people? Do we support them? Do we go along with the other community members to give negative comments? Okay, so when we know about these conventions and legislations, then we know where we are standing alongside inclusive education. Okay, so we also have a PowerPoint on for major topic 2. There's a forum. We don't give any marks for forum, but please do engage in the forums, because that's where you also find out from your friends what they're doing. That's where we build network. Okay, let's move out from the attitude of doing something to get marks. Me no magam group forum, me no magam activity from, only no giving mark from. Okay, so all this, we have it onto Moodle platform for you to engage with others, to be able to read, so that at the end of this course, you don't just tell yourself, I have done EDIE211. Especially the time when you say, okay, after you try learn a money, you start to give him some answers where you're not really satisfied, because our school leaders know we are doing a course on inclusive education. And inclusive education is becoming a great issue, not an issue, but a great area, a big area, which is attracting a lot of fundings, a lot of NGOs to come to Vanuatu and help us with all this. So please, we want to help our students. We're not just doing it for ourselves, we are also doing it for our students in our classrooms who are not learning, who are not behaving, who are not participating, who are feeling out of place, who are too shy. So what can we do as effective teachers? Okay, major topic 3 looks at complexities of inclusiveness. Okay, so complexities of inclusiveness. We have the subtopics, barriers to promoting inclusive. What are some barriers that hinder inclusiveness in our education system and society? And then something we make say inclusion, something happen. So that's a subtopic. We have gender equality, equity, and social inclusion. We also have types of disabilities, courses and support strategies for disabilities, mentoring learners with learning disabilities, disability and disaster risk management. So when we have students in our class who have a disability, how do we help them in times of disaster? When there's an earthquake, when there's a cyclone warning, when there's a short notice on closing down the school due to some disaster. Okay, so those are what we will look, or it's up for major topic 3. We have some readings. There's a guidebook that still also maybe needs upgrading on it, but we have it uploaded already or populated. We have a guide for teachers to use to support students who have disabilities. We have, there's another reading on making education for all inclusive, where next, supporting teaching strategies in facilitating instructions for learners with learning difficulties. There's a reading on gender, disability, and social inclusion strategy. Building teacher confidence and competence to include children with disabilities. Disability and disaster, and implementing inclusive education. So these are readings that are populated for major topic 3. We also have 3 videos that are based on this, but these are not the only sources that we can give you. You can also find videos on Moodles, on YouTube to help you understand types of disabilities and all of this. Okay. So far we have 3 major topics populated. We only have 5 major topics for this course. And complexities of inclusiveness will run for 2 weeks. So you will still see it populated next week. And then we will move on to planning and teaching for all learning abilities, which also runs for about 2 weeks. And then we have the final week, which is the 12th to 16th of December, and that is observation and practical. For face-to-face students, this is where our students go out to observe in schools where they practice, or inclusive schools, and also organizations that have, who cater for diverse learners. But for us, we will use this week to compile assignment 2 and submit, so that we can all have a peaceful Christmas and New Year and not thinking about assignments. So assignment 1 is due 27th November. due Sunday before 4:30 p.m. Okay, so we will go straight to assignment 1. There's a mistake on the assessment, on the assignment page on Moodle, where it says assessment section, EDIE211 section, assessment section, assessment details, and schedule due dates. So it says there are 2 continuous assessments for this course and 1 examination at the end of the course. Okay, that's a mistake. There's no exam. We only have 2 assessments, 2 assignments. So we have the first one, which is an essay, and assignment 2 is a portfolio. Okay, I'll stop for 2 minutes and allow you to ask question or say anything. Okay, maybe we go straight to the assignment. Okay, so assignment 1. Assignment 1, due date 27 November, 4:30 p.m. Your remaining time before due date, 12 days. You have 12 days to complete your assignment. Okay, so assignment 1. Assignment 1, let's say 40%. Assignment 1 is based on nature topic 1 and 2. This project provides an opportunity to research on theoretical foundations of inclusive education, which is nature topic 1, and conventions and legislations that govern and promote inclusivity. This opportunity will help to develop your ability to think critically, evaluate, understand, apply, and communicate scientific research related to inclusion, diversity, accessibility, and equity in your educational setting. Okay, so it's an essay, it's due 27th November, total marks out of 50, weighting 40%, length 2,000 words. Your task, educating for inclusion and diversity has come a long way, but there are still a lot of challenges that hinder people with disability and diverse backgrounds to have access and equitable share of the education services in this modern era. In major topics 1 and 2, you have learned the theoretical foundations of inclusive education and conventions and legislations that support and promote the development of inclusion and diversity in schools. Your essay will focus on these 2 major topics and separated into 2 different parts, part A and part B. So part A, you will choose one of the 3 learning theories that we have also populated. It's also on Moodle. In Moodle, there's a reading. There's a reading written by these people, Al-Shamari, Pauline, and Faulkner, 2019. This reading talks about 3 learning theories. Okay, so you will read this reading and see how these 3 learning theories support and promote inclusion and diversity in a school setting. You may also use other relevant resources from your library and the internet that support inclusion and diversity in school. So from this reading, you will only choose one theory. Okay, and discuss how it supports and promotes. Two people are talking how it supports and how it promotes inclusion and diversity in a school setting. In any school setting, you can reflect specifically to your school, but we are talking about in a school, any school setting. Okay, so that's A, and 15 marks is awarded for part A. Part B, with reference to the following documents. These documents are also being populated into Moodle. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disability, the Salamanca Statement, Vanuatu 2030 People's Plan, National Sustainable Development Plan 2016 to 2030, and Inclusive Education Policy. Okay, so with reference to these 5 readings, discuss how the learning theory you choose in part A of this task will be used to achieve the relevant goals stated in these documents. So again, it's another 15 marks. Okay, so after you discuss one of the learning theories from the 3 learning theories, you will refer with that learning theory, you will refer to these 5 documents and see how you can achieve these goals. Okay, so for instance, if one of the learning theories is to do with constructivism learning theory, how will you use that constructivism learning theory to achieve the goals in maybe inclusive education policy or the Salamanca Statement? Okay, so it's, you need to know you need to know the learning theory well before you are able to discuss this in section B, which is another 15 marks. Okay, we have a layout here, expected content. So you will have your cover page, table of contents. You might have your table of content, or you can just have your cover page, go straight to your essay. So you need to have a proper introduction. Okay, all of these are just here to guide you, but we have been writing essays, so we know what an essay looks like. So you need to introduce, then you need to have a proper main discussion part of your essay and your conclusion. And you must have a reference page. Okay. Format or layout requirements. Title, font size 16. Heading 1, 14. Heading, subheading 12. Font, we use Times New Roman. Font size 12. So these are just layout requirements. Okay, formatting requirements. Once you finish your assignment, you can ask someone to proofread your essay. You can give it to your friend if you have a study partner. Exchange your essays, read through to check that there are no typos, because you lose marks for misspellings and all that. Okay, so that's F. The marking criteria is also here. So you have introduction. Sorry, this one is laid out differently. So we have the introduction, we have presentation of quality sources, theory description, so you need to describe or discuss your theory well. Classroom implications, if you have areas where you have used the theory to satisfy. For instance, Convention on the Rights of Students with Disability, Children with Disability. Okay, I already have, the school is an inclusive school. So whether we like it or not, we already have students who are with us in the classroom. So how can I use constructivist learning theory to accommodate this diverse group of students, to satisfy the convention on the rights of the child with disabilities? So, okay, I have them in my class. They are not just followers, but they are engaged in activities because I use constructivism where my students are always engaged. I build on what they already know, so they are not just sitting there and listening. Maybe I have a student who cannot talk, who has speech impairment, but can use all these other parts of the body to engage in activities. So it's how you are trying to relate from your own teaching experience. You're not just talking about someone else's theory, but you are using the theory to reflect on your teaching experiences to meet the goal of, to meet the goals in the conventions and legislations. Okay, so you need to mention some things on your classroom practices. Then there's significance. Okay, significance. The highest mark here says the discussions and ideas presented are reliable, coherent, clear, and relevant to the task and significant to Vanuatu context. Okay, so whether your discussions are aligned or they are dismantled, you're talking about something else, then suddenly you are talking about something else. Okay, so significance of the task that you are doing. Then there's analysis. How you discuss or how you analyze different situations and your decision making in allowing students with diverse ability to be able to engage in your classroom. Then you have all this with grammar and spelling, your format, whether you keep to the format, the required format, language, length, referencing, and conclusion. So these are the 12 areas to focus on. When you are writing your assignments, please always reflect, always go back, consult the marking criteria so you are not going offline. Okay, so that's our assignment. I know some of you have been working on it. The due date is catching up on us. So start doing something. Like I said, it's just an essay. You can send me or give me a call if you need help, or we have the forum space where we can discuss questions. I don't give answers unless I have questions, then I respond. But if I don't receive questions, then that tells me you are working and you are 100% on your own. You don't need my help. Okay, straight. I have talked for over almost 1 hour. I will let you ask questions or any clarifications that you might need before we finish. I know we should finish by 4:30. Otherwise, that's all I plan to give this afternoon, just to briefly go through major topic 1, 2, and 3, and to go through the assignment. Any questions? I leave a short time for questions.
Nisata,
Yes.
for the assessment A and B, do we need to compile them together, or we both of them 1,000 words?
Yes, it's like part A and part B. They both make up the 2,000 words. So it's just like separating the ideas, but how you write your essay, anyone essay no more. So when you are introducing, you are talking about A and B. So in this essay, I'll be talking about this theory. and then looking into how this learning theory will be used or is used in my classroom to achieve the relevant goals. So you are just combining the two. You don't have to, make two separate documents. And then when you come down to the actual body of the essay, that's when you talk about A, finish, and then go to B. And they both worth 2,000 words. I mean, both of them together, 2,000 words. Does that answer your question, Daniel? Albert?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mrs. Sata, good afternoon, Villanot School.
Good afternoon.
Selwyn.
Okay.
I just want to ask about the portfolio. Below where it says EDIE211.
Assignment 2. Yeah, assignment 2. Is that assignment 2 you're talking about?
Assignment 1.
Assignment 1 is an essay.
Now
Assignment.
we export to portfolio ya hemi no one na.
Michelle, I think it's not ringing.
No, you while. This is
Where are you looking at?
the assignment, the place where you click, let me go inside the, where am I? Me click the assignment, then we go inside. EDIE211 assignment task 1, underneath him, we got one place panel, we tell them export to portfolio. You sabe tell them or is me one document more?
Yes, I mean, should be one document no more from got to one place. No, there's nothing on portfolio for this assignment.
Okay. Because it says export to portfolio, meeting say by you do assignment, if you export them no place.
Oh, okay, no. Now, hemi from Semimi putum inside the one folder.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's why I call him. But then when you make an assignment, you finish. By you populate them inside the Moodle. For them way where you play in submit them assignment finish lehem.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Otherwise, you play sub call on Moodle. So all in all, it got
Yes.
Okay, on my list, it should got 45 participants. 45 participants for this course. And I don't see them on our Zoom session because Carlson is recording. But it's good to come to Zoom session so you can ask questions.
Yes.
When we put them, you harem you want. More good pitting where you harem someone else, one second person, it will explain. And when you come, you ask them question, you may answer straight away, then you harem straight information. Any Narvla question or Narvla thinking anyone you want to share them or out from assignment? Anyone you want to share them? One in maybe lately. How na been helping one student or hemi been achieving? Maybe one student will hemi not been stop make a work better. Notice him say. Hemi usum some strategy na ya studentnya hemi sabe work hotel na pala. Hemi change him some attitude. Then maybe hemi never share. But lately you look say hemi start to share am kakai. Anyone you want to share any experience to all of us so we can learn from each other? Kawenu, nothing?
All good.
Okay. Kawenu, we got inclusive classroom, so I believe the inclusive teacher is doing a great job to help them, same as I think, yeah, Villanot is also an inclusive school.
Excuse me, Mrs. Amos, yes, for me, just small no more, like we like at inclusion teacher. After some, most of the time, he help them belum lapat. Yes, there is improvement. Like, because me make an exam finish pe. Because in the class for me, I have 4 children that goes to his class.
Okay.
After pelo en blote me look say got big improvement lo. Learning yes, only got improvement lo learning ability pul kata lo sapai samul kata ipitim some week lo class plumia lo sa performance pul kata lo temia so me appreciate them one inclusion teacher plumi vla sta mekem lo pikininia.
Okay, thank you. Any more? You missed up run out lot time, but you karam one more or suppose you no more got, you missed up call it an end for the day. Okay, seems like we are all satisfied with this 1 hour session. We can't go any more because we are using our data and all that. And we are all busy people. We need to mark our exams and do all the end of year stuff. So I'd like to thank you all for your participation this afternoon, your attendance. Please keep working on your assignments. Let's not leave everything towards the end because the portfolio, which is worth 60%, carries a lot of marks. And from last year's experience, a lot of students submitted assignment 1 and did not submit assignment 2. And we don't want that to happen with this group. And I know you are all hardworking people. You will all do your best to complete all, to meet all the requirements for this course. Okay, with that, thank you so much. And may you have a blessed afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mrs. Atta. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.